Did Dumu just get bamboozled? Because this ain't a good look for him. HRE versus Malians on the deciding game. Borderland, a map where Malians have been picked a lot, but also countered by plenty of these Dark Age shenanigans. Weirdly enough, HRE, one of the civs that could outpost rush you, isn't going to be in this deciding game. Numenor playing it relatively safe instead. Just rushing for the feudal age. Yeah, very intriguing. I'm kind of shocked by that. Like, there's a very high probability that your opponent gets a forward gold. I think it always ranges between here, and the back gold is just too far away. So I'm a bit gobsmacked that he didn't try to counterplay this. That's a weird choice by Numu. He pretty much just gives Dumu a free ticket into the next stage. And that's important, right? Because even if you just end up forcing your opponent to build a Saharan trade network to protect his gold, that's a big advantage. It ruins his Pro Scouts timing. Damn. I wonder if KP says he has a... Wait, do I have a yellow tint with my glasses? What are you on about? What are you talking about, Willis? I was going for the Bono vibes today. Alright. So, prediction-wise, you guys are kind of 50-50. Okay, there's the big investment I was expecting to come out. I mean, that right there is banking on the Dimmu name, not on the Civ matchup. Like, HRE is meant to just be able to roll over the Malians here. But yeah, this Arkham priority, we'll have to see if it pays off. Other side, it's just going to be the safe Mansa coming in. Remember, Borderland is a map where aggression is usually rewarded. It's not easy to just camp in your corner. And also, with Pro Scouts meta being in full swing, you have to come out anyway to get those deer. Both of these civs are very good at playing into Pro Scouts. HRE tends to feel a little bit better due to their timing, right? Because their better economy should be able to get them there a little bit faster. Sheep count looking pretty damn good for Numenor. 18 sheep to 13. Plenty of food to just rush through. And remember, he would have already been rushing through it with the Arkham buff, or the Prelate buff rather, right? So definitely got the advantage. Probably about 70% of the sheep on the map. 65, 70? Yeah. How come the other streamers don't have a better PC, but they have bigger platforms? Because, like, you'd be surprised that's not how, like, content creation works. Right? Like, I dress nice. Does that mean I should have more people watching me than Moist Critical? It's not how things work. Sometimes low production value is what people like. But I am very confident in saying we basically have the best PC in AoE 4. I don't think anyone's tops what we have right now. So, opening play here for Numu should realistically be Rax. You play a few spears and then you fill up Pro Scouts, but I think because of his choice to optimize around feudal, I mean, dude, if you were going to do Rax, you would have done it in age 1, right? Like, this is just going to be a rush towards Pro Scouts. So, stables first. Meanwhile, on Dimu's side, means that he can actually just freely play into the cavalry as well. So, what is the win condition for Dimu? It should be to get to Castle Age. Farimba is an option now because you are playing Pro Scouts. For Numu, I think you're better off trying to keep this in feudal and just killing him before he scales ranches. Right? Your economy is going to be pretty good, but it's only good for a small window. Think about the Archon placement, folks. Like, what is the problem in this game for Numenor? It's that this is one of the worst Archons I've seen. This is like a 2 out of 10 Archon. Mainly because, like, the options aren't always great on this map. That's why I'm giving him a 2 out of 10. He only got one tree line. Right? He wasn't able to get over here for the double tree line. He wasn't able to get the gold berries and trees. Nothing. It's literally just a single tree line, which means that Numenor has a very thin window to do noticeable damage before his Archon becomes basically just a food generator. So we do have Rax in the stables follow-up. Yeah, it's just getting more peculiar that we went this way around. HRE are probably one of the best civs at blocking Pro Scouts play. And it's because of the spearman movement speed. Remember, they have marching drills, so you can just zoom on top of the boys. I do believe... this... I'm trying to think if you actually want Farimba in this game. You should because of Mansa Musafadi. Like, I actually think Mansa Musafadi is just your win condition here for Dimmu. Not just the Castle Age, but if you get into Mansa, because The tricky part about HRE is, like, at some point, they're going to want either spears or men-at-arms or horsemen, right? And Mansa Musafadi counts all of those. Remember, they have 4 melee base armor in Age 3. We'll have to see if we even get to that stage, right? Like, Numidan, he has got a lot of spears coming. Right now, the Warrior Scouts are being a nuisance from Dimmu. In fact, is this a bait? I know usually the Malians have to delay the pro scouts timing because they have to get the scouts out. It's more value to block your opponent's timing. But we're 6 scouts in and he hasn't even gone for it. This is a bait. Wait, so the question is, does he follow up with aggression or does he follow up with greed? You have double racks now. Yeah, but wait, your opponent has archers coming. Admittedly, Dimmu doesn't know this yet. It's pretty smart by Numidan. Like, archers are always a nice thing to have in the early mid-feudal. And the thing is that Malians, unless they are scaling javelins, they don't have a counter at all. And why would you be scaling javelins when your opponent has revealed spears already? It just doesn't make sense. This is very unorthodox from Dimmu. And there you go, ranchers are coming in. So he's genuinely just trying to buy time to buy through to the next age. We wondered if this was going to be Farimba, because on this map, Malians probably about 90% of the time do pro scouts, but clearly not going to be seeing it today. And he does now see the archers. Okay, so at this stage, Dimmu has to add in the javelins. This will slow down his scale point into the next stage. But what you can do is you can kind of be a little bit reserved about this. Gradually scale javelins, don't consistently produce them, because your opponent isn't moving across the map yet. Like, you're going to be gathering deer from this area anyway, so you'll see them on approach. Dimmu, he's starting to posture for it, so it's going to be chasing out. Remember, limited runway here. Tree line is almost gone, so Numidan is going to struggle to mass up archers. He's going to have to probably start sacrificing villagers to get prelates in here. Yeah, I think when you want to play along feudal, mine work is better on this map. The Arcan value is obviously in the pro scouts, but like everything else just feels underwhelming. That's why I think usually we just see people drop the Arcan towards the gold anyway, because at least you get like a lot more life out of that, right? Like this tree line has maybe what, 2,500 wood on it? This has 4,000, and usually you get someone else in range. Posturing begins though. Numidan now moving into the pit mine. Dimmu, instead of going for those javelins we talked about, it's actually going to be the archers, respecting the fact that there's so many spears already. Musafadi also getting added in. Is that a misclick, or is he assuming a men-at-arms transition? I mean, it kind of makes sense, right? If you're building archers, your opponent could go MAA. We can see Numidan has no intent, which means the Musafadi is just kind of a waste. Okay, come on, dude. This guy is a mind reader. So men-at-arms are going to be coming in from Nimmu. Nimmu's like, I've seen this show before. I mean, it kind of makes sense, right? Like, your opponent does have all the deer. Sofas will be just as good of a counter there. He still has this very big issue around spears, but the whole idea for Dimmu is if he can now thread the needle into Castle Age, these sofas immediately become very valuable. Numidan will go men-at-arms at some point and Dimmu knew it. Of course, but like, I guess the point I'm trying to get to there is like, if you rush ahead, it's kind of like saying, this person's eventually going to have hand cannoneers, I'm going to get horsemen. It's like, yeah, but chill. Still a few minutes. Because you could have been more efficient at countering what's here now, right? And because you've got defender's advantage, it means you can still layer the cake afterwards. You do have javelins finally getting added in. Numidan, he's starting to stockpile a little bit here. I mean, you just see how absurd the H3 economy can be, right? That he's able to hold on to this much while still having this much in the field. Ranch. Well, up to 3 now. Dimmu could consider mirroring a castle rush if that starts to become apparent here. Because once you have like half full, the Fulani can be worth the investment just to get the tech up. A little bit of poke on the backside, but remember, those warrior scouts, no bonus damage against the archers. Looks like he has to run away, but a disadvantage there. Remember, the movement speed on these spears means they are going to gap close you. Has to turn around. But Numidan kind of leading with the spears, maybe a bit too forward in this fight. There is 7 in total. If Dumu targets them down, the Sofas can just reign supreme here. Tries to peel it back, but Numidan just A-clicking his way through with that front line. Starting to reach the back here. Archer count is still looking good. Donzos have been removed. The Sofas are still a threat, though. And Numidan is going to need to retreat. He didn't bring the next wave. Yeah, he had a rally point behind this. They weren't arriving one by one. Hence, Dumu able to get a favorable fight there in the end. Despite the fact the military lead still lies with the Swede. Numidan, and now forces the reinvestment, keeps him away from that castle age. Meanwhile, that 4th ranch is starting to be padded. I mean, if he takes one more fight like that, Dumu can just take the plunge into castle. So, very important that Numidan doesn't screw up this next engagement. I think, you know, sometimes we criticize people for trickling troops. If he'd been trickling his troops instead of holding them back on a rally point, that fight looks quite different, I think. You'll be seeing Dumu double down on this age and Numidan maybe skirting by. Dumu, is he thinking about it? I mean, Dumu is still adding an army, but he's doing so from behind, so realistically his attack point isn't there for, I'd say, another 2 to 3 minutes, at least. And Malians usually don't like to attack into Mid-feudal anyway, right? They'd much rather just build an army and upgrade it instead. Looks like the ranches are being prepped, so Dumu is just going to go for the hunker down and age. Outpost going to be coming alongside the pit mine. This is getting a bit trickier. Dumu, it's not many javelins, but with the outposts, surely should be enough here. Sofa, just also a problem. Absorbs a lot of fire. Yeah, kind of surprised Dumu didn't have additional javelin production coming, but the archer count is good enough. Scares him away. Numidan is now looking for the age up. Dumu was looking for a backstab there. He needs to catch up fast here. Also, keep in mind for Numidan, the deer isn't coming back fast enough anymore, right? No, he's pretty much capping out. I think he might need additional scouts. Otherwise, he's just going to end up in a situation where he has to vacate the area. So 3 more deer coming in, but you can already see these ones are drying up fast. Nice hit on the back. Takes out the cavalry. Okay, so Dumu, those are things you want to upgrade, right? The Sofa's in there. I think there's 2. Just get melted. Numidan's going to get to age 3 first. And this is going to be easy peasy regnants. With the position he has on the map, this could easily be at least 3 relics in this game. I think Dumu didn't buy himself enough time here. I mean, it's kind of crazy. I don't feel as if Numidan's opening was the best line for him. But the follow-up, I mean, it just shows you how much runway Pro Scouts gives you, right? Like, I feel as if every game gets summarized by Pro Scouts. I think that's maybe why I'm getting so bored of it. It's like, as a core component of success, it is clearly there. Numidan couldn't have kept doing this long with no deer. Right? With an Archon that would have needed farms, it would have hit him right where it hurts, and it would have given Dumu the advantage. It's just another game that looked like it could end up being decided by deer. So, tech up complete. Dumu shouldn't be too far behind him. The thing is, if Dumu can survive long enough, Numidan is not a typical HRE boy where he's got 20 farms ready to contest you. So that's something we have to be really conscious of here. However, once we get those farms in, once we're at like 80 economy, the Fulani effect isn't really as impactful anymore. Right? Because at that stage, we're talking about a percentile scaling. If Numidan has a fully utilizable Archon with mass farms, which, by the way, oh my god, that gap. But if he has mass farms with Archon buff, 40% buff, in fact, like that exceeds what you'll get out of the ranches, right? Numidan now starting to pressure in here. We do have knights being queued up. Dumu is going to give over the 4 pit mine here. Has got all the upgrades coming through. But the problem with this play is you've just given full map control to Numidan. And with that, it could easily be a 5 relic HRE game. I mean, he's already got 3 prelates out in the field, right? I think he may have even pulled the Ark in. No, so 2 running. Third one about to spawn here. Numu, he's shuffling around the back. He's looking for that other pit mine, understanding that Dumu, with just a Mansa Quarry, would not be able to get a Castlage army, so he'll block him out there. The reinforcements are already in position here, so this could be disastrous for Ben. Numidan doesn't realize yet. He's going to start diving in. If he just rallies new troops here, Dumu is dust. Instead, though, he's a bit too tunnel vision, so it looks like Dumu gets another stay of execution. Lancer finally diving in, but a little bit too late here, now with the army arriving. Yeah, and he's going to peel and bring it around. Leaves a small retinue to deal with the pit mine. Archers are on the way. Dumu getting more and more jabs to address that problem. This is a very uncomfortable game right now for Dumu. He at least sees the army. He does have the vision from the outpost for that. Right in blind in this area would be a bit more damning. Archers trading out against the Donzos. We do have a second wave of knights coming in. He catches him. And Dumu has no spearmen to address this right now. It's chaos in the Malian kingdom. This might just be breakpoint. Numidan, he still has more knights on the way. 68 military to 42. Now, the deer is running out. He's got, what, I think 3 fresh ones left, and then that might be it. 2 left up here, 3 left up here. Okay, so there is some life still to this push from Numidan before he needs farms. Frontline gone again. Villagers evaporating. There's just not really much safety in this game right now for Dumu. The javelin count is looking good. Numidan's weakness right now is a lack of consistent knight pump, but it's doing the damage necessary here. Dumu once again jumping the gun. Once again losing villagers for it. This is getting ridiculous. It's 11 worker kills now. He has at least got some Sofa coming through, so that should stabilize him, I say, as spears immediately arrive at the worst possible time. Dude, Numidan's impressing me here. Considering how Dumu's been playing in the last 3 KPMMs, this, I think, does categorize very much as an upset. Well, it's not impossible for Numidan to take wins against Dumu. A 2-1 storyline is not to be expected here. I think the draft was really solid from Numu to get to this stage. That game 1 also just so pivotal for giving this type of lead. Farm transition still not any deeper. Numidan only at 7. Last of the deer is now going to be coming home. He literally has, what, 1 to drag back here. The rest just got dropped off. So we are approaching under 2,000 food left. Numu still needs farms, but Dumu is taking risks on the gold now. Starting to spread a bit wider. I think also he's kind of forced to spread wide because the tree lines are thinning pretty fast. I see Court huffing the hopium here. Dumu might have been somewhat fine if he hadn't lost 11 workers against 5 Regnants HRE. Come on, Core. You're an HRE main. You know this. Yeah, I think Numu played this very naturally. Not naturally. What's one for? Very organically, right? The fluidity with this attack into Relic Gain. Now, I don't think you can just rush Imperial Age here. He still has a food issue that needs to be resolved. But really, the onus now is on Dumu to attack. I mean, dude, even if H3 only has 3 relics and has 11 worker kills, I think they're happy with that. Fulani's worth, what, about 20 villages? But then the Arkan can now start to buff up as well. Like I said, Numu's weakness here, of course, is now going to be this transition. This is a window where Dumu could potentially do damage, but he needs to be fast. And unfortunately for him, we already have Numidan prepping the crossbow for the Sofa raids. so difficult against HRE to make these raids happen as well. Marching drills, just really the gift from the gods. Walls are now going up, so Dimu's trying to guarantee that these knights do not sneak back in. Why not go straight in? Because you need to feed your people. As a father, I've become conscious that as much as I'd like to buy all the new shiny games, I should probably have enough money to feed my children. You will learn this lesson in life. Your people must be fed. I mean, back in the castle days, if you didn't feed your people, they'd start cannibalizing your asses. Nimu is going to be blobbing up towards that 200 mark. We do have small walls coming in, so he's going to get the extra wood necessary for additional farms. And we see he's doubled the count, so up to 11 now. Once he gets to about 25, that's when things look very cozy for the HRE. Not looking comfortable there for Dimu, though. Was that a misclick? Sofa's just A-clicking into the main army. His premium units just being lost that easily is not a good sign. Yeah, Rip Sofa is usually someone I say after I let my cat on it. But well, in this case, cat's on the other side of the bracket, so can't blame him for this one. Nimudon now shuffling in. Reminder, he can taste it. A deep run indeed. Can he find it now? He's diving past. Dimu is outnumbered on the defense. Night Clash coming in. Donzo count is only 8 though. And that should be enough to just bludgeon his way through. He's being very careful not to throw away the knights unnecessarily. Crossbow archers won't be able to stay here though if he keeps taking this angle. He'll start to back away. But behind this, the food is starting to stockpile. Numidan, income is surging upwards. We're up to 16 farms. We're soon going to see about another 10 added in. We have the Musafadi warriors coming, so Numidan's men-at-arms transition is going to get counted, but I think the idea there for Dimu was to get a good fight and remove all the archers for the Musafadi play. With them still being there, it's not as simple for him. The only upside right now I see is like the walls aren't up yet from Numidan. He hasn't hunkered into that corner fully. We do have a night raid around the flank, but the wall's at least going to give an early warning. Problem is, Dimu is on a collision course for the HRE base, so he might not have the troops to pull south for that. He's got to hope that this attack makes Numidan come home. A bit of damage on the front. Numidan, a little bit sloppy there. He has got these emplacements coming through, though, and with the relics, it's not really something Dimu wants to commit into. Yeah, this is the challenge for Ben. His comp was really good at holding his base, but really bad at attacking his opponents. Do you see the issue here? Mass range can't actually dive base well. Not to end it, right? Against these emplacements, you just won't have a way of getting rid of them. Lanch Nectar? You know, if he had less archers, I'd be with you. Maybe get rid of the archers before we burn all of our gold, though, you know? So we do have some night raids in. Nicely played here. Musafadi are being pulled, but that's additional chip damage that at this stage, Dimu can't really afford to be taking. 15 more worker kills for Numidan in this game. The Grand Fulani just really starting to melt under the pressure because of it. Numidan has been very, I guess you could say, methodical about the layering of farms, right? I kind of like this, though. Instead of just skimping on military and then getting overwhelmed, he's always tried to keep check with his opponent. Dimu, now that we're approaching max pop, this is where actually having less villagers can be a little bit of an advantage. Yeah, be warned. Okay, tends to have some takes that might have you go, okay. Oh, I get it now. Now, Numidan's in a good position. He's naturally going to get Imperial Age. Whereas Dimu, like, with the way you play Malians here, you kind of want to hold reserves to replace the losses. Mangonels are going to stop him in his track, though. Okay. So Dimu knows this is going to go to the next stage. He has no choice in it, right? Has to back up. There's no entry point anymore. Bouncer Swabian now coming in. Very safe backwards spawn for it as well from Numidan. I think Dimmu... Bit awkward. I don't know, man. Maybe there was a play here to go for Sacred Sites to force Numidan out of his base. Like, Dimmu was trying to get in, but it's easy to forget that the Sacred Sites exist here, especially when you know the relics are gone from the map. That might have been a way for Numidan to draw Dimmu to draw Numidan out earlier. Right? And then, yeah, he's teching, but he's coming out at you at, like, what, 7 minutes, 6 minutes on the clock? I love that Dimmu's trying to keep that persistent pressure, though. Like, if there's one area Numidan's weak in with his choices here, it's wood. He still hasn't moved that factory line yet. Hey, keep the abuse out of the chat, or I start throwing out timeouts. I don't mind there being disagreements, but we don't need to resort to name calling. You goddamn apes. Thought the Huntress coming in. Dimmu, I like this for the Sacred Site idea, but we still don't have the monks yet, right? Numidan is going to get his elite techs first with this play, right? I'm starting to think Numidan may have HRE brain. This is getting a little bit overly defensive, but you can't help it. It's like when they tell you to toss the ring into Mount Doom. You're not going to do it. With 5 relics, the temptation to just sit there is too strong. Do have little raids coming through from Dimmu. Numidan can buy Imperial again, but that's not really an option here. You didn't pick Abbasids. I mean, let's get some quality units in, right? He's still got a lot of archers and spears. Maybe hand cannoneers getting... Nah, not with the javelins. I don't mind the idea of just maybe getting some more knights to raid with. Or just going straight into siege. And yeah, there we go. He has got adjustable crossbars. Alright, this might be the teeth breaker, because Dimmu's army is pretty hard countered by mangoes. If he can stealth with the Musafadi, great, but like Numidan should be aware of that and building forward outposts as he moves up. He's already got outposts in this area that will reveal the Musafadi anyway. Alright, 1s if you think Dumu's going to win this. 2s if you think Numidan's going to win this. It's kind of weird the way it's played out for Numu, in that he has Palace of Swabia, but he has 81 villages because they haven't had that fight that burns both their armies yet. It's like the tech up didn't really help Numu from the natural point that it would for HRE, which is I'm now going to have 140 villages, right? It definitely feels like one of the weirder HRE games I've seen. Keep drop now coming in, so the 8k gold to be secure here. And yeah, Numu basically needs his army dead and Dumu's army dead. Because his economy should be better, right? Much better, in fact. Like, we basically have all the farms set up now for Numu. Was a little bit of wiggle room to set them up here that he didn't take, but outside that, it's fine. 31 farms deep. Upgrades coming through. Do we have university techs in? No uni yet. Okay, that's very surprising. From either player. Alright, I'm a little bit shocked by this. I mean, Numu, crossbows, incendiary arrows, like the amount of value out of incendiary arrows on its own and EAT. Also, just siege works when you want to go mangoes like this makes a lot of sense. Also, you know, there is the teensy tiny detail of him having over 1,000 gold income a minute with 5 relics, raidments. Just small things that would tempt you towards university normally. God, this stare down in the center. Dimu's starting to make a move, though. He's reached a point where he can start to stockpile some reserves, so he wants to try and throw away the trash units and get something in return. We do have the stealth. Wait. Some of them are stealthed. Wait, is this like a bait? Or was that a misclick? Because he stealthed part of the army. I think it was just the Fort of the Huntress effect, right? Yeah. That would have been genius. I don't know if anyone's ever tried that. Just basically stealthing half your army. So your opponent's like, oh yeah, I'll just send 20 units to kill you. And then you just reveal. That does sound pretty vile. So we do finally have Sacred Sites locked in for Dimir. It did take quite a while. This is where Numenor needs to move with a little bit of urgency. But for the time being, he has to react to this back raid. It's going to buy a little bit of time on the clock, but nothing substantial zone. What Dimir really wants is some kills here. He's heading towards the farm area. The Musafadi are going to pack quite the wall, but even have extra techs being prepped behind, so he's buying time to catch up with his real Imperial here. Meanwhile, Numenor, you're seeing that correctly. He's finally queuing up EAT, but he's also getting ready for Landsknechter. Oh, this could actually be the time. I mean, he's got the mangoes now to answer all the mass ranged, and then the Landsknechter to sweep through mass Musafadi. Does still have to worry about the sofa play that Dumi's starting to scale more into. This is annoying, by the way. Like, at this stage, like, why is H3 not catching these? It's Farima leadership. He's moving at 1.58 movement speed. All of a sudden, marching drills looks pretty pathetic. Ring a Rose is happening right now. Meanwhile, it looks like Dumu did try to step up the second wave. Won't be able to get in, though. This is so bloody annoying. They just don't die quick enough. Also, I believe... Has he not got Landsknecht in there? No. Okay. It was just the pantaloons of the spears that was baiting me. So we have him ready to pull the trigger on Landsknecht, but all of a sudden, Numenor is lacking the goal to do so. That'd be your Alt F4 moment? What, you mean you don't like chasing after? I bet you were that person that rage quit every game against Japanese at release, you know? Like, why is he only Bugushu me again? I don't play games to see girls, I do it to escape them. Sadly, a real fact, actually, of the AoE4 community. Do you guys know that my audience is 99% male? That's crazy, right? The raid's not that big of a deal. It's not really about the raids, it's about what it's actually achieving, which is that Numenor isn't blocking Dumu's win conditions. Sacred sites, tax. He's buying time. Is that any different from the demographics of the community at large? No, because AoE4 is quite like a male and middle-aged heavy game. I think it's because, like, although there are a decent amount of girl gamers these days, like, in the earliest days of gaming, when it was the, nerds sitting in the basement, I guess that's when it was the most skewed, you could argue. And if you think about it, Age of Empires is, age-wise, a game that skews, like, older, right? On average. So it kind of makes sense. I was about to say, Bella's also here. So I don't know. Maybe I've got 2% today. Big Pog. Hoogies. We're setting a new record. That's coming in. We do have the local knowledge to make him a little bit more tanky. First strike could be pretty good, but not really getting enough done yet. The mangoes should be the breadwinners here. Culverins are sniping into the Fort the Huntress right now. Numenor may have a little bit too much backline and not enough frontline here. Yeah, and he's now fixing that. We have Landsknecht, men at arms, spears on the way. His goal with mangoes is simply to have them be his back. He needs extra to push with here. Looks like Dimu isn't even trying to keep the Fort the Huntress up anymore. Yeah, looks like he's backing away. More villages are being pulled. And the funny thing is, Culverins are actually pretty terrible at sniping villages, so you can't even deal with the repairers, right? It would take 3 hits from a Culverin to kill. No mango commitment underneath the keep either. We do have trebuchets from Numenor. I'm just confused as to where they are. Oh, they're coming. Very slowly. This is going to be breakpoint, right? Does he have banker repairs? Oh, he does. This tech is so ludicrous. It does feel like the culverins might be enough to crack it, though. Mangonels are starting to move up, and we do have adjustable crossbars. Dumu's caught up. Girls can't joke about nuts? Exactly. What if someone's allergic? That was a dad joke. Dumu, he can't let this go down. He knows he's going to have to fight soon because the pressure is starting to stack up and he's burning a lot of wood. So Flash comes in. Mangonel power could be there for him. The Landsknecht are just wiping through that front line though. Look at it. Look at them. Choppy, choppy. All this talk about nuts and then all of a sudden we see a big snip. Landsknecht wave has been wiped though. The mango's on the other side. Not really impressing here for Numenor. Dumu taking a good fight there, getting the siege lead. Landsknecht, even with 5 relics, can become quite pricey quite fast. Dumu is trying to lean more and more away from using his food. We're seeing at what? A grand total of maybe 20 farms? 15. He also is missing the level 3 food tech, which would also be buffing the cattle. But who cares about food? Just build more siege. Do you think pros have like a little voice whispering in their head in these type of games? Like siege, 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 siege. Also, why are you guys moaning? It's only collectively 55 siege pop between them. It's not like it's 100. We'll get there. There are more mangoes queued up. Flash comes in though, and you gotta be careful. Because sometimes having too many mangoes doesn't equal win, it equals easy loss. We've seen it before. I think the record was like, was it 20 mangoes from Doom on this very map that backfired in the 2v2s. The issue is adjustable crossbars. You spread out just a few mangoes, they can wipe 12. Numenor has stocked up a lot more men-at-arms. Dumu having to go back for the Musafadi now. His front line is lacking. Four of the Huntress is getting roughed up constantly through this, but you're seeing Dumu kind of starting to reach a point where the wood income might struggle to hold this. Men-at-arms dive comes in, and Numenor, surely this has to be it. The shots for the Mango. Looks to dodge out. Siege works will keep him alive here. No siege works for Numenor. Might be his big golden mistake in this one. The Fort of the Huntress is down, though. The men-at-arms are in, and the bombards have been sacrificed to it. This surely has to be breakpoint. Yeah, Numu, he just has the income to keep pumping this. Dumu, not so much. Feels like there has to be gaps in either food or gold gathering. And also the men-at-arms just aren't dying quick enough to even adjustable crossbars here. Really is making the difference, and it makes sense when you think about Mango's getting bonus damage against archers, and archers also just having half of the effective HP of this counterpart unit on the other side. Wave after wave flooding, even a few Landsknecht just getting added in for good measure. Mango's kind of struggling to hold this. Only upside I'm seeing right now for Dumu is this derelict landmark is actually stopping the Mangoes from efficiently moving up, so they can't risk just clustering on the side. Looks like a few of the melee units will be able to just shuffle out and deal with the culverin. Crossbows will be there to address, and there's an attempt to repair here, but Dumu, it's not going to work. He's down to 122 population. Numenor looking like he's going steady at 170. Both of them definitely struggling to re-max. I think part of that is probably down to Numenor's lack of full production here. Yeah, he has got 16 Raxes, but it doesn't feel like he's regularly stockpiling a lot of troops behind this. Mango smashes are coming through. And this could actually break in right now. The Mangoes may have just overextended, and the Landsknecht men-at-arms are going in. Shots coming in. Slow to move away, though. He's going to lose it all. Surely. Repairs come in just in time there. But he's gaining a little bit more ground here. I mean, Numu, at this stage, all he needs is numbers. In fact, there's an easier solution here for Numenor than what he's doing. Horsemen. Where are the ponies? Horseman actually just breaks this right now. Spearmen and marching drills, men-at-arms and marching drills is kind of a bait. Because although they're quick, they're nowhere near as quick and they don't get bonus damage against that siege. So yeah, it's kind of crazy. If Numu, he's done such a good job of fitting the lines. If he just goes lance-necked and maybe a small coupling of horsemen, he breaks this. And no, he has 1 stables, right? From the Pro Scouts play at the start. Sorry, 3 stables. So he does have the ability to build a few here. Even knights could maybe be good enough. Just because the only thing that's going to get bonus against you is the Musafadi, right? There's something else. I think he's got HRE brains, like infantry good, must build more. In fact, it looks like Dumu is suspicious that there should be Cav. Okay, what is it with Dumu just sensing what's coming next so on point? There's only 2 Donzo, but he already started prepping them before Numidan queued the first horseman. We have biology, guys. This is the break point. It has to be for him. Sacred Site timer has been restarted, but I wouldn't really take too much notice of that other than the fact it gives passive gold. Corwin Siege begins again. Ango's... Wait, if he blind fires this... Oh, it doesn't even have to be blind. He sees him. He's actually going to go after the castle, though. Not even trying to snipe that economy. Feels like a missed trick. There's just so much down here. 32 villages that you could just hit straight away. Instead, a risk of him actually losing additional economy here. What is it with Dumu and Malian games that go very late on this map? He's by far the most consistent at getting 50-minute plus games on this map for Malians. Without a doubt. No, guys, it's not GG yet because people have been saying GG back and forth. So, like, it's almost like when we do a poll in chat and it just pivots back and forth, you know? Dude, what we need is a GG bar. Oh, man. This is why I need to get some coders involved. So it would track in chat the GG said with either 1 or 2. And then a bar along the top would keep going back and forth. Ah, that's what we're missing. Siegeworks is finally coming in from Numidan, by the way. This is the thing that's made it very difficult for him to continue the push. Biology, Landsknecht, Siegeworks, like this, in theory, should be his breakpoint. Where he's able to get in and finally end it. A lot of Musafadi, but a lot of Landsknecht to answer it. Now, you need to be careful about the way you use them here, because the Mangos can easily wipe Lansk. It's the men-at-arms that you want to bait the siege fire onto. Horseman not able to ripple on that north side. Do have some attempts, though. How many times does this landmark have to die? And how many times does Dumu not just have to have late game Malians, but also it come down to this landmark? We all remember the Voldemar game. I think Voldemar's going to be remembering that 10 years from now. Mango shots coming in. Nice hit there. The horseman got let through. This is big. This is what he's been waiting for. The bonus damage should be able to thin this out. Second wave coming through. And Dumu just doesn't have the troops to protect it. Chain repairs going on one of the siege weapons, but the damage from the horseman too high. Too many Mango losses. The second wave now to connect. And that surely should be it. 4 Mangos left to play with. And also that scramble to protect has now stacked him on top of himself with Landsknecht coming in. It's going from bad to worse here. The repair crew can't work if there's Landsknecht in the neighborhood. Another Mango down. Another wave of ponies. And Numidan may have just bet on the pony to get him all the way through to the semi-finals of Midweek Muster 10. Man, what a play. Finally it came through. Numinon. I mean, this is all down to the early mid-game. The 5 relic advantage, very rarely one that HRE can't exploit to the bitter end. And although it may not have been clean, the biology timing, the lack of siege works, when he remembered, when he realized, you just see how good the goal can be and how super effective Lance can be against what Malians want to do in this later phase of the game. Yeah, it just kind of broke him, right? Like, these Musafadi front lines just don't survive anywhere near long enough. And now he's broken in. Horsemen haven't got siege to kill anymore, but what they can kill instead is the thing sustaining this army. So march around the back. He's going to start fishing for the villagers. Sacred Site decap means no win condition there. Dumu refused to just call GG like that. He's not a member of my Twitch chat. But he has to be close, on the verge of just a big defeat here. And crazy outcomes as well. Well, one side of the bracket has the potential to see who we'd expect. The other side, maybe not, right? Dumu is someone that I think a lot of people have pegged to make the grand finals this week. Not the case. So we definitely won't be getting a rematch of B and Dumu. Not at this rate. Dumu is at least remasked for maybe one more fight in this with 5 mangoes to back him. But part of this feels more like Numinon kind of slow rolling than Dumu having hope. So he's going to try to secure the tree line on the south. We do have Dumu ambitiously gathering wood from Numinon's wood clusters here. And that just got noticed. A few men-at-arms are going to shuffle over. Ben's like, as long as I have wood, there's hope. There's a belief, a way. Maybe. I mean, in fairness, you know, you've got passive gold and you've got wood, then you've got mangonels. So he's not entirely wrong to keep punting at this. But the wood is starting to look grim. He doesn't even notice the men-at-arms attacking me, so that's what? Like 12 to 15 villages down the drain. Tree line is thinned here. It looks like we actually do have some emplacements revealing what's happened there. Numinon is kind of scrambling for wood. But good timing on that south side. He just cleared the castle down here. We do have emplacements coming in. Numinon is trying to play this safe and make sure that he has the tree line to push through now. And the ripple effect isn't just that he's securing a tree line. It's that he's brutalizing what little economy Dumu has. And yes, warrior scouts are weaker than horsemen, but it is only food to build them. The problem is Dumu didn't go for Griot Bara, and he doesn't have mass farms, right? So this food income isn't really activate Attack on Titan and build 200 scouts level of food. You can see how much respect Numinon's showing him as well. Like, you know, at this stage, you would have expected just mass horsemen always into the back, but he's aware Dumu ain't fully dead yet. He's definitely on life support right now, waiting for the doctor to come in and tell the family it's time to pull the plug. It doesn't mean he's technically still surviving. Just definitely not thriving. A little bit of horseman damage on the backside. Maybe a bit of an overreaction there. It's going to allow the additional wave to go north. I mean, it's 17 Lancenet, guys. 20, actually. I don't know how you're meant to attack into this right now. Maybe Mass Sofa is the way, but then you're attacking into 43 spears as well. It just feels like Numinon's comp has Dumu's number right now. If he can get a Mangonel hit on the Lance when they're grouped, there's a way to fight back. But that's a big if. Horseman also addressing the Mangonel threat. Numu needs to be a little bit careful riding up this hill. Playing a little bit forward and blind. Win the game already. Sorry, what was that? How is this not over? It's crazy as well when you think about Borderland conceptually as a map. You shouldn't really get late games like this often. Or spread of lines, and now like a hot knife through butter. The Lance deck, the only thing in their way is their own comrades. This should be the breakthrough, surely, but no, instead, Numinon, he's melting to this! What? Landsnake weren't even fighting! Are you kidding me? Numenor, most of his Landsnake there were in the center, and they were bodying each other. So Dumu able to spread wide and break through. Numenor now in retreat. He'll at least be able to get the mangonels out, but he has a very big problem on his plate here. Dumu has found a confidence surge at the 51st minute mark. Numenor may need to rethink the comp. 40 spearmen into the Mustafadi, just actually causing congestion for him. Also enabling Dumu to sustain himself on wood-heavy units in a game where he's still getting wood. I think Numenor, that's maybe his biggest issue, is that Dumu has consistently been able to play on these flanks. Although there's been occasional harassment, there hasn't really been a flatlining of wood income at any stage for Benny Boy. Sacred Site's now locked in again. Do have horsemen flanking to the north. Just need to commit through. I don't like the way that Numenon's now approaching these direct fights. Like, that last one has to have him a little bit dazed here. Now, he's overcompensating into siege. Remember the thing that killed Dumu in one of those fights where he had siege advantage? It was the too much siege blobbed up. Right, 5 mangoes can take out 10, easy peasy. Because of the way they form the lines, right? Like, they double fit the lines, and it means that they're clustered for the shots. Now, apparently, it's Dumu's turn to raid. It's like, it is a race to deforest here. And I refuse to lose. Horsemen are in, though. So just as much damage that can be done the other way. In fact, Dumu isn't even pulling away from this. They're sending up a few Donzos now. We do have a shuffle in on the backside here. Reaching farms is going to be difficult, though. In fact, it looks like Dumu is funneling everything to the north side of the map now. And we do have Numenor snaking south, so more wood's still going to be coming in. Really important considering he keeps going back to spears and horses. Greased axle? Wait, was he really missing greased axles the whole time? Well, I'm pretty sure we had it from Dumu. Yeah, it's just such an important tech for kiting with his mangoes. Cut off here from the horseman, we'll be able to mop up the archers. That raid over here, is it me or did Dumu's villager count go up? Like, it doesn't really feel like it's budged. And the issue is, like, Numenor hasn't had that classic HRE game where you have like 120, 140, whatever economy, and you blow 10k food. He's done a good job of keeping reserves here. What worries me is, like, Numenor doesn't queue extra units. The reason that's a problem is, like, when he takes a fight, where are the new troops, right? Where's the second wave? If you're waiting until you lost it to build that wave, you're going to have a problem here. And we do indeed have traders. Dumu, 6 so far. And he does have a few toll outposts, right? 1. Yeah, so not getting the maximum extra gold trickle out of this. Flash comes in. Mangoes are just going to crumble it again. This fought the Huntress. There's a wraparound though. Mustafadi trying to get through here. Not going to be able to. There is a few lines also laid in on this. Stop pulling back though. Secondary line does form. The mango shots. I think this might be a bit of tunnel vision. Numenor is so busy trying to kill the landmark. He's not killing the army. No, and with 10 mangoes, that's a big sin, right? That's 30 of a 200 potential population. Basically just fulfilling the role of a trebuchet here. When it could be fulfilling the role of a tactical nuke. Horseman did just get queued up again by Numenor. I'm glad he's starting to finally prep that next wave, because I just, every time I look up, the fact that he doesn't have extra Sig in reserve, despite the fact he's got collectively 7,000 resources, is worrying here. I think that's why Dumu just keeps surviving as well. I mean, obviously he has to play the fights incredibly well, phenomenally well, to still be alive in this game. But like Numenor, the fight that went so well for him was the one where he had layer after layer of horsemen coming in. That trickle effect, the discombobulation, is what's going to win you the game against Dumu's mass siege. Numinon is creeping up here. I mean, that wall works against you, though, right? Like, that tiny choke point, 4 mangoes can just wipe the floor with you. I'll say he's going to be pulling a repair crew, because we actually have quite a lot of injured mangoes after this. How is this game still going? We're at the hour mark now. This one should have been over. Like, maybe 2 to 3 different times, there was ways that this could have clearly be done. And yet still, never wave the white flag until everyone's dead seems to be the lesson in this one. Horsemen, they get an opening. Patience from Numinon pays off. An easy and free raid in there. Meanwhile, the return fire, though, not going to be as impactful. I think actually that was a free-for-free mango exchange, but it still keeps Numinon... Wait, Numinon? Oh my god, the second wave of Musafadi. Okay, so Dumu just shrunk... What was that? I think it was... Was it a double up? The 5 mango lead? Down to a 1 mango lead. This is crazy. And you know, like, we are at the stage now where all the gold has been exhausted, bar... Yeah, no, it's all been gone. So now with the pit mines, the Mansa, the double sacred site, all of a sudden Dumu's situation on gold is kind of competing with the Regnets. And then when, of course, you add in the traders, which is now up to a total of 8, it's why Dumu is ahead on gold. I can't believe this. Is he going to lose all the mangoes? That's the last one. He's got 2k in reserve again. The longer this goes, the more I lose faith in Numinon. We have got a chop through on the tree line. This could be good for him. But he's still only men at arms. The Landsnecht are never the ones raiding onto the villages. 3 minutes to go on the clock. While a raid is cute like this, you need to now win in the center. I mean, I guess you could ripple onto the sacred site from here. Damn, imagine if AO4 did have like a sudden death type element. Hours being, like, we're approaching the 2-hour mark. All right, guys, you can't produce units anymore. And you know how you immerse people still? You point out that it's calls for peace from your people. This war has gone on too long. Boom. Why didn't Numinon stop the sacred site? Because he can't. He stepped up and lost all of his mangoes. Like, this isn't easy. Dumu really is just kind of outflexing in these fights now. Awesome raid on the north side. We're just 2 minutes away from a victory for Dumu. Numinon can't really take the raiding approach anymore. Flash comes in, and it's a freebie. The mangoes get caught Congoing out. Overreaction as well. He pulled way too many troops for this. His front line's weak. It's like he's going to be able to swipe through the lands next, so that might be able to save him. That backstab, not really doing enough. The mangoes were wasting time. The time is definitely not something that the Numinon can afford to waste either way. He needs to be going. Now, I've got the outpost drops. We've got cannon emplacements in both of them. But they are not close enough to protect on the sacred site. Numinon knows he gets one shot at this. One opportunity to make the game go another 10 minutes. Castle drop coming in. He begins the approach. Mango shots. Not deep enough to hit the villagers. He's going to need them onto those men at arms, though. He's going for the siege instead, so he's going to actually anti-siege this. Musafadi going in again. Drags off a small group to chase this away. And now the castle, he needs to stop that. Doesn't even matter, though, right? We're 30 seconds away. The mangoes from the south side are being approached, but I think Numinon, even if he gets this keep up, he doesn't have the troops to stand here. Castle online. But Numenor about to go offline. 30 seconds away now. There's no sneaky decap. All the tension is on this north side. And at this stage, Numenor is trickling. Right, like he has 50 military, but collectively maybe about 20 of it is on the screen. This is over. I can't believe it. After the lead that Numenor built, from the Regnates to the all-in wipe in the middle of the map, it's Dimmu wiping the grin from Numu's face. He's trickling troops. It's all spiraling out of control. Dimmu, with an insane turnaround here, is going to take this 2-1. What is with this man? Delivering the most absurd Borderland Malian games we ever see. Built different. Surely there's not going to be a decap now. Surely this is over. He's paused the timer. He's pulling villages. There's no way. He has got Mangoes pressuring this. One good wallop is really all Dimmu needs, but he's not able to easily find it. Snipes another one of the Mangonels. New wave coming in from Numenor. Dimmu, where are the troops? He's got Donzos on the way, but the Mangoes are in trouble, and Numenor has pushed him away. No way. The decap is half complete here. I can't believe this. 12 seconds away, and the siege is all gone. Numenor is not dead. Are you kidding me with this game? Tick-tock goes the clock, but not quick enough here. He gets the decap. We are not done yet. Well, you know, I was worried we weren't going to have enough series today, but I guess I'm going to alleviate myself of those concerns. Because this series is definitely stretching the stream. We still have another live series after this one, by the way. We've still got Voldemar versus Cat. Numu needs to push in from here, though. He may have actually drained Dimmu. Can he follow through, though? Tree lines are becoming uncomfortably thin at this stage. Feels like a race to zero between the two. How the hell does Eva win at this rate? That's where I'm at in this one. I mean, realistically, you know, when everything's drained, trying to think who's better off for it. I mean, Dumu's at least trading, right? So he should have more gold long term. But it's not great trade, right? Like, it's not like he's breached these. If he takes these walls out and moves at the corner, that's when it's very obvious that trade's going to win this. I think that's the trick he's kind of missing at this stage. I mean, funnily enough, you don't even need to break through the walls. They just don't exist anymore because of the tree line. Yeah, but at this stage, I don't think it's as much about the fact that trade costs pop as your ability to re-boost all the siege after losing it. Numenor is now up to 51 men at arms. Highest count I think we've had in quite a while. Tricky part is everything's being pulled north. I feel like actually like what Numenor wants to do is draw attention south and then go north because this is the farms, right? So like, actually, what you're seeing is Dimmu might have a problem coming now with the trade being spotted, but this is the only vulnerable eco point on the south side, right? He's no longer gathering trees here. This surely should be where you start sniping it. There we go. Numenor does see. There's only 8 traders so far, though. No E-repairs. It looks like Numenor is going to end up losing the castle here. Castle that's been pretty damn impactful. Led to the decap. Led to the block on the trees. He's in everywhere. He's actually found the cattle this time. We reached that point. It took a very long time. It actually took an hour and 5 minutes. But for the first time, in that time, Numenor has killed a cow. A monster. Farms also getting blocked. Unbelievable. I hope Dimmu keeps siding up, is all I'm going to say. Because, you know, obviously it took Numidan to do this dance as well. Between this and the Voldemar series, this man has some of the most ridiculous Borderland games I've witnessed. You're always the Malians. Do we have the extra ranch added in? Well, he's dealing with the litter right now. It kind of feels like Numidan gets to this point and then maybe slow rolls way too much. Right? Every time I want to say, yeah, Numidan should win this now, he backs away and lets Dimmu get more military. There's no point in killing economy if you don't then follow through at this stage, right? Because all you're essentially saying is Dimmu can now get more military for the next fight and then recover economy afterwards. Right? That's kind of what we've had in a cyclical nature here. Little baby raids coming on the flanks here. Trying to think if there's anything else that could be useful. I mean, silk bowstrings is kind of cool for the archers. But at this stage, maybe a little bit too pricey. A little bit of an overextension here. Numidan. Wait, where's the rest of the army? What? So here's the tricky thing at this stage in the game. At this stage in the game, it just kind of feels like you need to have full production. But also at this stage of the game, if I had a select all trees button, there'd maybe be 100, if you're lucky. So like, we're reaching the stage where wood actually becomes the real gold. Because you can build trade, you can have Regnitz relics, those will get you gold. But trees? No other way to get wood. Right? You're not playing French, you're not playing Abbasids, you can't do that with traders. And I think that's where maybe it's kind of falling right. That's also something that I think Dimmu done really well in the mid game, is he had a lot more forward infrastructure, at least at one point. Started to get demolished eventually. We have trebuchets now. Horseman raid is going to hit nicely though. Relics give some wood, that's true. Right, he is getting a little bit of trickle with... Yeah, he has got it. So getting 200 wood there. Via the tithe bonds. But still, like 200 wood a minute isn't going to be enough to encourage you to build like 10 Raxes in the middle of the map, right? It's just too risky because if you backfire on that fight, your opponent's going to take those Raxes away instantly. I like this from Numidan though. This is what I want to see more of, is he always does this once and then stops, right? And I don't know if that's because maybe he feels threatened by Dimmu, but whatever it is, it's like he needs to consistently be doing these tiny raids. That's when you'll see the food income go down. Like hitting one farm cluster and then stopping isn't going to change anything about this game. Oh my god, I just read Khan said I was gonna say something similar. I was like, at this age, old men may need to go for a nap. The retirement home might call them into action. Well, we do have equal men at arms to Musafadi, which doesn't bode well for Numu. We're also at a stage where there's not siege, which is kind of crazy considering that Numidan has enough gold to build a lot of siege. I actually think for Numidan, the play here would just be another 10 land skin. How does Dimmu have Sacred Sites again? And yes, Numu is kind of infamous for insulating himself for later phases of the game. We've seen it quite a lot in the past from him. Might call it his iconic playstyle at this stage. And look at that. We've actually got silk bowstrings coming in for Numu. So big range advantage. Should allow him kite away in the fights a bit more. Mangoes won't be able to get that juicy underbelly as easily. Still surprised that we didn't get a response, but like, you know, Dumu, we'd said the lack of gold is the problem here. The interesting part is Numu's kind of at a stage where he could have afforded hand cannoneers. I just don't know if it's really worth it when you're facing off against Mango Mass, right? All right, how many times has this landmark now died? I've lost count. It's gone up and down more than my daughter on a trampoline. She loves the trampoline. You get her on, she won't come off. Push coming in here. We do also have the cannon placement in, but it doesn't really matter against 130 military. Oh god, it just feels like the scrape at the bottom of the barrel in some ways compared to where we were with Siege before. Looks like Numenor will be able to hold, so Dimu is going to have to reset and back away. Yeah, I think the crossbow archers was really doing a lot of work there in that engagement. Too much time to gap close for the Musafadi. How much wood is still on the map? I wish there was a select trees button in this game. The things I would do with that button. Like, press it. So Numenor now has the military lead. His economy is down to 51. This is now a race to 200 pop. Okay. I mean, Dimu... It's a bit worrisome when Numenor has the military lead because Dimu's army isn't really about quality, it's about quantity. Mass men at arms, crossbows, like Lance Nectar. For Numenor, it's about quality. He shouldn't have the lead like this. Starts to push in. Only one mango here, Dimu. Playing with 5. Needs to address the men at arms quickly, though. They are starting to shuffle around the sides. That's going to keep him out of the fight here. The backstab comes in the other way. We'll be able to find that one mangonel. Numenor still with 40 men at arms. The numbers are thinning. Musafadi just a golden solution to this, right? Almost feels like Numenor needs more archers in this engagement. Lines are getting a bit thin. He will be able to reach the back of Dimu sooner, but I think the mangonels have him freaking out again. Second wave of men at arms coming on the south side, though. Unfortunately, A-clicks do kind of bog them down and don't keep them chasing on top of the mangoes. Okay, so 2 mangoes removed on one side, 1 on the other. Numenor does still have the military lead. No, but we need to push. We need to push. All right, she's crowning. It's 12 hours of labor. Get that baby out of Borderland. I mean, it feels as if it's going in Numenor's direction, but at this stage, why do I even call up? I should just put elevator music on for 2 hours. It's just ridiculous. We're down to 6.5 minutes on the timer again. Yeah, really, that is happening again. But hold on. This is happening again. Horsemen are in. He does end up A-clicking onto the archers instead. I mean, not the worst of ideas to remove the back line, right? Then the next wave can just take them out freely. Surely this is it. Numenor still has a healthy military lead here. The siege is kept out of the fight entirely. The Fort of the Huntress just isn't dying quickly, though. It's only one culverin. I can't believe it. Imagine this game if there was an L's back in the middle as well. There is a big military lead again for Numenor. There was a flank raid coming in. The farms are getting idled out. Numu has been hit on the economy a little bit when it comes to what matters, the food income. However, you wouldn't really think it looking at his population. I feel like most stages of this game I've looked up and Dumu's been behind by about 50 population. And yet still somehow not dead. Does that feel like a fair summary? I think that's a fair summary of the game. Farms unharassed again. We do have the straggler trees now being munched upon. And Dimu's almost out as well. Yeah, he's got small amounts of trees up here. I believe, yeah, we've got small amount of trees down here still as well. These ones also. So I'd say they're about, are they 50-50? I'd say Dumu maybe has like 65% of the wood left on the map in his territory. Yeah. Also, now I'm going to be shuffling down, up north rather. Wood is really important for Dumu. It's actually not that important for Numidan because the men-at-arms blobbing. The horsemen definitely, but like for Dumu, archers, the donzos, the mangoes, right, all of them. So he can't really afford to lose anything at this stage. He needs every teensy, incy, wincy twig he can find. All right, at this point, I think it's funner to try and predict when this game is going to end. 1 hour and 23 minutes. It's probably going to be 1 hour and 36. Okay, so here's the good news. With all the wood running out, eventually that means that this Fort the Huntress will never get repaired again. Here's the bad news. We're still about 6 minutes away from that point. Another raid come around the back. I mean, it's only a small one, so Dumu will be able to attract a bit of attention, force a bit light at a time, but the problem is by the time he arrives at this raid, look at the state of Numidan's economy again. It's over 3,000 in reserve. Do we have a recap coming on the sacred site? It doesn't look like it. Dumu's just, at this stage, Dumu's like, what's the point? I'm going to capture it. He's going to decap it. We're just going to go around in circles here. Trying to think what the longest game is we've had in Midweek Muster. It would be, oh, funnily enough, another Malian game. It would be the Malian-French game between Papua and Antand. No, wait, we've had a 2-hour game, haven't we? I think Wham's game. I think the record might be close to 2 hours. This one, weirdly enough, feels like it has the potential to break that. Why does Numa keep backing off when he has a big military advantage? He's scared of the reproduction of Malians. He's scared of overextending because he'll get ambushed, because like he doesn't have vision deeper. You have to remember, like, at the end of the day, we have God Vision. Numu is probably giving a lot more respect to Malian late-game economy than he should be here. Especially when he has 5 relics. We do it? Oh. Wait, were these here before? I think these might be recent. We've got 4 Draxes. So Numidan's starting to fix the production rate issues. However, he's doing it at a point where Dumu has now built a bombard. Oh no. We have no horseman wave coming. Dumu actually going into javelins again. I mean, Numidan does have 48 crossbows, right? He's kind of reached that peak late game comp. At this point, it becomes a stare down. Like, I'm kind of reminded of that. Was it like 94 hour? Or was it 120 hour? Whatever long game of AoE 2. Where like once everything is removed from the map, you freak out about any losses. Now, the interesting part is if we were to reach that stage where only food was available, Malians would be favored. But there's always going to be gold trickle as well. The reason Mali would be favored is because mass warrior scouts. But check this. It took 1 hour and 20 minutes for Numidan. The pacifist he is finally has to admit, guns are pretty good. Pretty good choice against Mass Misvadi as well. Especially if he does go in for the Serpentine Powder. Just gives him an easy way of erasing this front line for the Dumu. "12 years later." It's weird because, like, the thing is, you can see Dimu's trying to do something, right? He's trying to poke in. He can't send more, even if he wanted to, because Numidan would just send it into him at that stage and lose the main army. It's kind of like Numu is just, at this point, trying to drain what's left of Dimu, as opposed to trying to actually kill him. He's pretty much trying to make him die of old age, which, I mean, Dimu's an old lad, so I can see the thought process, but come on. Worker kills? What workers? Did they have workers? Or did we just imagine them? Dimu's currently at 18 traders, so gold income's looking pretty good for him. 7 mangoes is kind of problematic for Numidan, especially with 50 crossbows. He's compensating down to the horsemen. At this rate, we're going to be down to 30 villages for Numidan. If he can't win the game with an army 170 deep, there's no hope. Oh my god, he started the sacred site again. Can I just go have a nap? We'll come back afterwards. Like, I'll go for a 30-minute nap, come back. Game's probably still going to be going. Just like they've done in that Age of Empires 2 game. Yeah. Do you ever wonder if we didn't have landmarks, like in these type of games, would you even bother protecting your base or just move it, you know? Oh, I'm not tired. I just want one of them to do something. Numu is going to be raiding it again. We are in that straggler tree mode. Pretty much the heart of it. And Dimu has spent so long gathering straggler trees, he now has 3,000 in reserve. It's going to be a decap coming in. Looks like Dimu is going to be raiding towards these farms. Might give Numidan an opening to go higher in military. Yeah, when he loses villages here, look at the queue. It's just going to be more and more military, even if he doesn't intend it. So everything got pulled back by Dimu. Yeah. Completely forfeited off of the sacred site location, but is coming back in with a new wave. Reba leadership is so tilting. Get them, boys! We wear sneakers! Yeah, but like, they have nitro cans installed in them, courtesy of the sofa. Okay, so 7 mangoes. We've got them marching up. Dimu is posturing for a fight again. I don't know if he should be, though. Okay, that convinces me. Second wave. This is definitely a big enough army to fight. Especially right now, because keep in mind what he just done. He forced Numidan to pull, what, probably 10 to 15 military away from the front line. At this stage, Numidan is kind of like that person that dips their toe and is like, I think it's too cold. With this much military, like, your troops should just be able to go in on the flanks, right? But I guess he has a new problem now. When he's down at like 50 economy, if he loses too much military too fast, he doesn't have the eco to replace. That being said, we're talking about a player who has almost 3,000 food income and almost 1,000 gold income with 48 villages. I think he's fine. We're actually queuing up gunners now. We even have chemistry on the way. Wait, why? For the bombards? Is that misclick? Remember, guys, this game has been going on so long that we're past Dimu's bedtime. The chem doesn't work with the gunners. This is ridiculous, though. Look at the size of this mango force being chased, but in return, there's a dive coming in. However, that means your front line is weak. Numidan jumps on top of the siege. Chases it all the way home. Second wave is coming in, so that should protect the rest of the mangonels. What can Dumu get in return for this? He needs to find some kills. Has found his way towards the farms again. However, Numidan has rallied the next wave to protect that. I don't think this is GG. I'm sorry, do you guys have a place to be? Well, too bad. What you need to do instead right now is just enter your card details and subscribe to the channel, because from 5 minutes from now, we might get another big raid. Surely Numidan. Yeah, he has got hand cannons coming. I think this is just your play now. You can gradually scale hand cannons here fairly safely. It's a little bit risky into silk bowstrings, but we have to remember that Dumu never got that tech, so the archers don't really have the ability to snipe you freely. Well, Dumu's done a really good job, by the way, of minimizing the waste of wood, right? He's still sitting on a big surplus here. There is not many trees left on this map now. All right, it is true stragglers at this stage. Well, I'm almost certain that the semi-finals on this side of the bracket won't play today. Ooh, wrap around the back from the horseman here. We'll be able to get some more of the siege. At this point, why even bother with mangoes, right? He's still got 6 alive, 2 more queued up. Numidan really needs the mangoes gone before the hand cannoneers can win the fight. If there's 8 mangoes when he goes in, all the hand cannoneers are dead. So at this point, he actually has a justifiable reason to be very reserved. Still, with 20 population space into horsemen, you could just be flank raiding again. Tree should be able to grow back right now. Joke's on you, I never upgraded that building in settlers. I never replanted the trees. You ever think that maybe once upon a time that's what forestry done? Planted new trees? Oh god, no. No, 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 no. This game of infinite food is enough of a problem. Let's not imagine infinite wood. I'm starting to wonder what's going to come first. My daughter's birthday or the end of this game? And my daughter was born in March. We are marching again. Dumu is always just barreling for those farms. Which birthday? The one in 2025 or 2026? 2027, actually. So a bit of a better hit on the farms this time. A lot of idle time being achieved. That's going to draw the entire army home. Then we can't really burn through this outpost. Right? Right? I mean, there's no way that Numidan wouldn't just press the button. They didn't press the button. Okay. And now you burn the farms. Okay, this is actually a big deal if you can get through them. I think maybe it would have been more worthwhile to kill the farms than the tower. Guys, did you know we are just 8 minutes away from this game ending? I don't know that for sure, but there is a possibility. Whoa, 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 whoa. I'm not a liar. Okay, the goal of a good caster is to speculate constantly until you're right. Right? Miss 100% of the shots you don't take, and everyone remembers the one that was correct. I'm trying to think, like, what should be the solution to this issue this late in the game? I think I've talked about this before, that this RTS has a super weapon, but it is, in all my years of playing RTSs, which we've already established my ass is old, so a lot of years, is probably the crappiest super weapon in RTS history. It's up there. The Wonder. right? Because for a start, to get the Wonder, you need to have such an absurd macro lead. It's just not realistic at this point in the game. But then on top of that, the effect is pretty dumb. It's like, wow, I've dropped a Wonder. Now for 15 minutes more, you must attack me. Versus, you know, crap. I always like to use Red Alert 2 as the extreme in this example. Blast a nuke or cast a storm on someone, you know? I kind of wish we had something Wonder-esque, which is hard to achieve, but if you did, it drastically ramps the game towards an end game state. 50 minutes doesn't sound like that. I guess in this game it would, considering we're an hour and 31 minutes in. Kind of reminds me of the Age of Mythology one, right? Where when you get that Wonder, it amplifies a lot of things for you, right? So you get like incredible amounts of favor generation, things like that. Something like a Titan. You know what? That does sound pretty good. But we need to be like, you know, I think Titans, that's too godly, too Age of Myth. What if you built a ginormous pen that spawned a capybara the size of a castle? The interesting part, by the way, is like the solution to these issues that I've highlighted before. We've shown before. We've shown it in team games. We've shown it in free-for-alls. We've talked about it, and it's also something that already existed in a previous game made by the Relic devs. The timer resume. That would actually solve the problem, right? You could still get late games; they'd be more rare, but like you know, capturing the Sacred Site for a minute would have relevance. Whereas like right now, with a 10-minute Sacred Site timer, I can afford to take a breather before going in again. A really big breather. Hold on, take a breath. Hold your breath, folks. Hold it for 6 minutes. And then realize you're going to suffocate. Or asphyxiate, because this is not going to be over. Sacred Site is paused. Mangonel mass is big. Up to 11 now for Dimmu. However, the men-at-arms just keep sneaking in. Which is odd, because Musafadi are the ones with the sneak mode. Nice target fire there. Needs to keep the hand cannons out of the engagement. So Sacred Site timer is still ticking. We're 5.5 minutes away. I do like Numidan's comp from the hand cannoneer perspective, but it requires a lot of micro now against this mass mango. Numidan needs more eco? He might need more military. You say potato, I say potato. B was right! They're all doing it now! Wait, why is he doing it, though? When your opponent had, like, 50 spears, it kind of makes sense, men-at-arms as well, but he has horsemen and hand cannoneers now. So why have we got Springolds from Dimmu? Is he just expecting mass spears, which wouldn't make sense with no wood, right? I mean, maybe he expects mass men-at-arms. And in fairness, the men-at-arms were starting to reach the mangoes, right? So I guess that makes sense. You layer the Springolds in, they should be able to deal with the MAA. Problem is, like, I don't think Springolds work unless you can get 10 to 15 of them at least. You only have one. Mango shot's gonna be coming in. Needs to target that siege. The Stagger Nature are looking good. Numinon, a bit slow to pull away there. However, the horsemen have reached round. And the men-at-arms are through too. Numinon is gonna be able to wipe the siege here. Dimmu just sends it deeper though. Instead of retreating and losing more, he decides to take more from Numidan. Could this be the end? Numidan, he doesn't have much left in queue. Food income also is not really keeping up with it anymore. Dimmu having plenty left in production lines coming out. And the Sacred Site timer now under 4 minutes. We could be seeing another picture finish here on the countdown. I think Dimmu lost maybe 3 siege, possibly 4. Just sick read as well, man. Like, most people, when they see the horsemen coming, they panic and they pull away. He sent them in. That was a smart read because it made sure that Numidan couldn't turn with his siege. It meant his hand cannoneers couldn't fight. In fact, he lost quite a lot of them in that engagement. Back down to 13. Insane. So remember that. Next time you're one of those players, it's like, oh no, I lost a villager. I need to build 4TC and hide in the corner until I've got max pop. No. Select all villagers, A-click enemy base, beat them. I mean, that's what we just learned there from the mangas. And yes, Numidan does have a Pulse of Swabia. You just wouldn't really believe it. HRE weak late game? In a way, per se. The thing about HRE in Imperial Plus is like, the biggest edge with going Imp is how quickly they get it. There are other civs that can be stronger, for sure. I don't think they're completely harmless in Imperial. Right, Lance Nectar, if you have enough gold, can be good. The Marcher Draws is still pretty nice. It's so scary to be low eco against Malians. No, it's not. Because now think about it. If you're low eco, they can't find your economy and kill it with all their Musafadi hiding. Big brain. Can't kill my economy if I don't have any. Can't really kill this keep with one Culverin either. We've been here before. Oh no! Remember, the reason he got a decap before is his own castle and the lack of a castle here. Right? Because he wasn't able to get on this one. Now we have a situation where Dumu has a keep on each of the sacred sites. Vastly complicates the matter. Numidan, he knows he has to go soon. This is probably his last opportunity. The economy behind this, the lack of production, being queued up means this is do or die. Put up or shut up. And he's about to be put down. He's losing too much front line too fast. The villagers are on the sacred site. Ben has had enough. He says this game is ending now. I've got to go put my son to bed. I think he's got it, guys. An hour and 40 minutes to round out this series. A series that looked like Dumu is dead to rights at multiple points. Questions will be asked whether Dumu was just too good or Dumu maybe surviving because Numidan not fast enough, but that is it. GG comes in. Dumu is the king of dragging out these Boldland games.